Hello everybody, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Welcome along. Here we are now with pack 18, part 17 of the video build of this beautiful Ferrari 330 P4 in 1/8 scale from DeAgostini. As you can see, it says here, the most beautiful racing car of all time. Not sure I agree with that. I think the 917 is a prettier car, but that's all just down to personal judgment, isn't it? So here you've got all the information. If you want to find out about building one of these, have a look in the description down below the video. Use the link, go on over to DeAgostini and see what you think about getting one. It is a beautiful model. Here you can see what we've done in pack 17. We've started to build up the space frame now. We've got the drive shaft there, we've got the shock absorber here, suspension, all the intakes on there. That pipe on the top is not falling off because it's broken. It actually attaches to the front of the engine here, but I've decided to leave it off for fear of snapping it off. So there we go. Right, so domination at Spa, victory at the Nürburgring. In 1964, Ferrari made up for its absence from the Targa Florio with the massive presence of several private 250 GTOs in Belgium. A few weeks later, Scarfiotti and Vaccarella's new 275P won in Germany against the Fords. So there we go. You can see them over there. And then here, one of my favourite Ferraris of all time, the 365 GTB4 Daytona Competizione in race superiority. Thanks to Luigi Chinetti, Ferrari's US representative, the company began an extraordinary adventure with the competition version of the Daytona. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Look at that. And what a sound as well. Wow. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at it. Just look at it. Under braking there, look. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful car. Look at them lined up down here. Look at them. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. There's a Capri there. I can see. Is that BMW there? 2002, I think. Can't make any other cars out. I think that's a Nissan there, isn't it, with the stripes on it? Anyway, so left rear suspension components. Let's get the light on because we finished with the magazine. Left rear suspension components. As always with this lovely model, there's lots and lots to do, which is really good because it keeps us busy and it keeps the build interesting rather than just having a few basic parts and a couple of screws. We're getting lots and lots of work to do in every edition of this build. It's really, really nice. So you can see here we've got a little blister pack of parts. So we've got lovely little parts in there. We've probably got parts we're going to be taking over to the next step as well. And then we've got some screws, ADM screws, blimey, they're long. BM, AM, ABM and ADM. Have to be careful not to confuse them. So the ADM, they're all 1.7, so we've got our tap here should we want to do any thread cutting. So let's get cracking. I said in part 17, in part 16, which was pack 17, that I was going to do two in this one, so have a look. Right, so take the preload adjustment knob, 18E, which is here, okay, and place it on the shock absorber body. That's metal. Place it on the shock absorber body, take the rear suspension, lower wishbone, so we're going to actually push that onto that pin there. That's crazy because it's just going to keep falling off. That's going to have to be glued on. Okay, so we'll glue that on in a minute. In fact, I'll glue it on now. Alright, so that's glued on there with a tiny drop of just ordinary plain super glue. Nothing fancy. Right, so this shock absorber is going to go into the suspension arm and it's going to go that way around with the adjuster facing inwards, and then we're going to take a BM screw and screw that into there to hold the shock absorber in place. We've got to make sure the screw lines up with the hole. Then just screw it in, just like so. And make sure the shock absorber's got some movement. Right, so that's in there like that. Okay, so we're going to take 18G, which is, I think they're two the same, aren't they? 18G and 18H. So 18G is the shorter one, so that's that one there. Okay, so we've got this one here, 18G, and this is going to insert the lower fork into the hole under the shock absorber, take the support plate 18B and an AM screw. So that's going to go into there. Take the support plate and an AM screw, so we're going to be cutting a thread into here. Like that. We're going to take an AM screw onto the screwdriver. We're going to take the support plate here, and this is basically going to go, that's going to go in there like that, that's going to go over it like that, and then this screw is going to go in through there like that and hold everything together, right, like that. So this has got to be that way up, and this plate has got to be up there by the look of it. Combine hub support 18A with the plate 18B as shown and secure with 2 AM screws, photo A. So we've got this piece. Okay, so this is the actual upright. They're calling it a hub support. This is where the wheel bearing and everything sits. Okay, and then we're going to use 2 AM screws to bring this together. Okay, so that's going to go in there, and then that is going to go just looking at how they've got this like that, so that shock absorber, that's okay, so that is right. Okay, right, so just check I'm not getting anything wrong, because as we all know I often get things wrong. So put one screw in there, then we'll put another screw into there. Tighten them down. These are going to support all the weight of the car, so we need to make sure they're nice and snug. Okay, so that's going to go like that. That's your shock absorber. That's going to sit like that. Attach the hub support 18A to the other end of the wishbone 18C using an ABM screw inserted from the outside, photo B. Okay, so we're going to put a screw in there. So we're going to cut a thread. Right, so we've got a nice start there for our screw. So ABM, got 2 of those in there, so there's, as usual, there's one spare. I don't know why they don't just give you a box of screws. You know, with part 1, give you a great big box full of screws, and it would save on all the packaging, all the bag costs, and all the counting and everything, and all the spare screws they got to give you. So that's going to be fixed in place with an ABM screw. Snug it up and then just back it off a bit, and then that can move freely. Right, that's nice and strong. It's a great design, this is. Okay, so we're going to turn the page, and now we're going to put the spring over the shock absorber body, retrieve the gearbox and engine assembly, and place the left rear suspension you've just built to the left of the engine assembly, insert shock absorber into the spring 18F and shock absorber body, photo B, attach the free end of the wishbone to the support cross member and secure with an ADM screw. So ADM, we've still got those 2 BM screws lying around. So we're going to get an ADM screw here. Okay, so all those spares. And what we are going to do is we're going to turn the engine over. That pipe lying around. We're going to turn the engine over. It's going to be sat that way up like that. Okay, and then we're going to take the spring. Oops, we're going to put the spring over the shock absorber body. We're going to fit the spring and shock absorber into there, and then we're going to attach this into there. It's got to slide. It's got to slide in. I'm trying to put it in that way. It's got to slide in from the side. And then we're going to take an ADM screw. I haven't cut any threads here, so we'll see how this goes in. If it starts to feel tight, I'm going to come away and cut a thread because I don't want to be graunching up and damaging anything on the engine. It's going in lovely at the moment. Going in nice and easy. That's our main pivot then for our suspension. Just check that it's free to move. Going to hold the engine, not just push down on it. You can see there we've got our suspension working, and eventually that arm there is going to attach to there somehow. In fact, that's going to be what that part there does. That's going to go in there like that. Okay, so you can keep that part in there, or you can keep the blister pack. I know which one I'm going to do. So there we go. So that's that one there. So that's it for pack 18. Let's have a look at pack 19. Okay, so here we are with pack 19. All the usual contact information there. So Ludovico Scarfiotti, Auto Nobility, the grandson of Fiat's founder and first president, and cousin of Gianni Agnelli. Ludovico Scarfiotti went to great lengths to prove he was a legitimate driver and not just a rich boy. His victories proved it. There he is. There we are again with some 365s. Absolutely beautiful. We're still talking about 365 GTB4s, which I love. Which is great news. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. So gorgeous. What a gorgeous, gorgeous car. There we go. So in pack 19, we're looking at axle shafts and brake caliper. So as usual, we'll cut the bags open. You can see we've got lots of going on in here. This is a great build. It's very interesting. It's very entertaining. And every single pack is keeping us busy with lots of detailed parts and screws. And it's a very, very interesting, enjoyable little build. That's the main thing about this. It is enjoyable. And I think those of you that follow my channel will know what I'm getting at. It's a very, very enjoyable little project, this one. And thoroughly recommended. It's really good. Okay, so we've got all our parts here in the blister pack, and we've got our bags of screws and bits and pieces there. So, right. So, coming over the page here, we'll get the magazine on, because we get the light on even, not the magazine, the light, because we finished with the magazine. So we've got some SM screws going in, and the SM screws again are 1.7. So we've got 19B, which is the center of our universal joint here. So what I'm going to do is clean this tap out. I'm going to see if I can cut some threads in here. That should go all the way through, actually. If you notice, it's not at all tight, so I'm not bothering with the half a turn back. If the tap goes in easy, you don't need to worry about that. The only reason for the half a turn back is to break the swarf. If you've got like a long string of swarf, this one's a bit tighter, so I will do it properly. If you've got a long string of swarf, it will bind up and jam and potentially snap the tap in the hole. There we go, we're through there now, so we can come out. Right. So there we are. Okay, so we have now got the long shaft. Again, if you want to, you can paint this rubber donut. The long shaft and the short shaft. So we are going to use SM screws. So we're going to use 4 of those. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there. So we're going to get all of them out, bar 1. Okay. Got a massive pile of screws building up here. We'll arm the screwdriver and we'll put our universal joint into here. I think this is symmetrical. Yeah, it looks like it's symmetrical. So that's going to go in there like so. And then we get another one. Put that one in there like so. And then we're going to just loosen the screw slightly to allow that to turn. And then we'll grab another screw onto our screwdriver. And that one can go into there, like that. And then that one finally will go into there like that. Now some of you will be disheartened, complaining, moaning, whatever about these screws being exposed. You can always get yourself some little bolts. You can get aftermarket ones if you want to. But I personally don't worry about it. Right. So you can see there's the finished assembly all screwed together. So now we're going to take the brake caliper. See, it's marked with a big L. Alright, and then we've got the brake caliper mounting bracket. Okay, and we're going to push this. So you can see it hasn't got the L in front of us. We've got that round that way. This is round that way, and that is going to press into there like that. So we're actually building up the brake caliper. It just clips onto there like that. And then we're going to take the other side of the brake caliper here, and that one is going to clip into there like that. If you want to glue it, you can, but it doesn't need any glue on it. So there's your brake caliper built up. Okay, and then we've got, okay, so they're showing us here this is wrong. I've put that on the wrong way round. It's not this is wrong, it's you're wrong, Nigel. Lucky we didn't glue it, isn't it? I would have thought they would have had a large and a small hole, so you couldn't be as stupid as me and make the mistake. So they're showing you there we go. So we've got 2 holes and 1 hole all lined up there. Okay, and then we're going to turn this over and we're going to take 19J, which you can see in this little part here, and this is the balance pipe. Okay, so that's a little piece of wire. It's beautifully made, and that's going to go between those 2 there, and that is basically it's a brake fluid pipe. It's a metal brake fluid hose. What that does is allows the fluid to pass between the 2 halves of the caliper. That's just going to push in there like that. This is by far a lot better detailed than some other models. It really is. You know, having that there is really, really nice. Okay. And the single holder component 19G. Insert the short end of the brake caliper pipe 19I into the remaining free hole in the component 19F. Take the brake caliper pipe, support 19H and press fit onto the component. So we've got this piece here which is 19I. Okay, so again that's a piece of wire, and that's going to go into that remaining hole there. So that is the actual feed pipe. So we're going to push that into there. God blimey, it doesn't want to go in. Go on, go in. It does not want to go into that hole. Nope, it doesn't want to go in, so I'm going to measure it for you. You may not have some of these calipers, but yours will be the same as mine. So that's 1mm. So I'm going to take a little 1mm drill here. I'm just going to open that out a touch. It's taken a tiny bit out. Okay, so now that's going in there easy. Too easy, if anything. I should have drilled it like 0.9. So what I'm going to do is take a little tiny drop of super glue. Just put a tiny drop of super glue on the end of there. Nothing much. There we go. Tiny little drop. And then that can go into there like that. And there we are. That can stay like that now. There we are. Right. So take the brake caliper pipe support 19H and press fit into the component 19F. Yeah, we've done that. And then pass the free end of the brake caliper pipe 19I through the hole shown. Attach the hydraulic hose to the protruding end of the brake caliper pipe. So that piece there is going to go onto that piece there, just like that. There we go, that's gone on there. So there's our brake hose, all fitted. We've got the bleed nipple up on there. Beautifully done, absolutely lovely. Really, really nice little representation of a caliper there. So there we go. So that's part 19. So we've got this piece here left, and we've got all of these AM screws, and we've got that little tiny piece there, whatever that is. Right. So we will take our plastic part there, put that back, and we can keep those for later. I will see you all soon for part 18, which will be pack 20. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.